taking back, if I were to go into a gym for the first time 5 years ago, because that is when I really started my fitness journey in a intentional, intense way. It is 6:23 in the morning, and I finished my cardio today and some reading, and super excited just to be able to talk and officially do my first solo main episode on my new YouTube series, where honestly I'm just trying to be here to push past my discomfort of talking online in a long form content style. I've wanted to do this for months to years. I remember walking into the gym for the first time, and all I could feel was I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know if people were staring at me and were judging me, and I also just didn't have a lot of respect for myself because I felt like I needed to work for it instead of being able to acknowledge certain actions. Oh my gosh, certain actions that led me to even show up in the first place and to recognize how beautiful that was. So let's say we make it to the gym, and the first thing that I think of is everybody is staring at me because they have nothing better to do, because they're probably on their phone, and they look up, and here I walk and I bring everyone's attentions away. This is not an egotistical thing. I just felt extremely scared because I'm like, I don't feel like I belong here. Why are people staring at me? Which I can't control if people are looking at me, if people are judging me, but I'd rather think of they are judging me, so I'm gonna focus on their judgment instead of focus on what I'm really at the gym to do. What I'm at the gym to do is to grow and to face discomfort voluntarily to be able to train. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I think from this experience that I had about 5 years ago, and then so many times after that, was, do I really care? Am I going to allow what other people's opinions of me are instead, like, over my dream, over my why? And that's where I realized back then that I needed to develop a deeper why. I needed to understand that my reason for being in the gym was not so clear to me. I was just there. But when I was there, I was judging myself for not being good enough, for being a beginner. See where this is going? It's like I'm a beginner and I'm judging myself for being a beginner, but how else would I possibly be able to do anything in life if I'm just thinking about how people are judging me for not knowing things? I struggled with that so much. I'm definitely that trying to be perfect is something that I've had in my head for so long, and that's hurt my self-worth, and it's hurt my ability to be proud of myself and to be kind to myself when I walk into something like the gym for the first time. So on that point, yes, to recognize people's facial responses when you walk into a room, or whether or not someone has an opinion about you, it's kind of hard to not recognize. However, I need to realize for myself, if I'm going to go back 5 years, that my main job when I walk into that gym is to be absolutely stinking proud of myself for walking into that gym, taking time out of my day, all the other things in terms of preparation for me to even show up. Because after I do my work in the gym, I'm physically tired, I'm emotionally tired, I'm mentally tired, and that places a strain, arguably, in other areas of my life. So the time that I do get to enjoy to be in the gym, because of all the time that I've sacrificed to be there, is not taken advantage of fully. So I'd definitely say that I'm going to take advantage of this time and really look at that 30, 45 hour or plus, whatever you decide to do with your life, as a moment to refresh, focus in, realize where I can grow, and start to build that relationship with myself as I realize, that's kind of hard to do. ooh, that hurts. Am I doing this right? And understanding that it takes research, it takes honestly asking people who've been doing fitness or stuff, like, is my form correct? What do you think about this? And some people may not always be right, but I would definitely take it from that observer's perspective, and that, hey, I'm a new person here, and that means that I have a lot of opportunity to learn so much and truly to grasp that learner's mindset instead of failure's mindset. When I walk into a gym, I had that pressure of, what do people think of me? What do I think about myself being in a discomfort, a voluntary discomfort part? People are going to say certain things to me based on their perspective and how they view fitness. So perhaps if they've had a previous negative encounter at the gym, if they've had maybe some injuries, maybe they've had some just really difficult situations that are around fitness in general, or they're going to think and tell you what you should be doing with your time instead. Or they're going to ask, well, why aren't you spending time here? Down to interpersonal relationships and taking time at the gym, and understanding that when it comes down to navigating what people think about your own fitness journey, it has been very difficult for me, because at first I walked into the gym understanding that I don't really know what I'm doing here, but all I know is that this stuff is hard and I need to navigate it. And showing up was hard, and eating enough food for myself to feel energized to do the gym and do the responsibilities I had after were extremely hard. So I'm just trying. I first started off the gym with that sort of survival mindset of like, what I just need to get in here and get out, and then having other people's opinions, and then them starting to think, oh, where is Kristen? She's at the gym again. So when I would come home, hey, you were at the gym again. Don't you think it's too much? And again, I'm not here to speak on what you should do and how much fitness you should include in your life and medically, or give any medical advice or anything like that. What I'm here to do is help people integrate health goals and wellness goals and mental goals, if that's so what they choose to have their life be like. So when other people would interact with me in this context, some of the closest people to me would start to call me crazy, because they thought that that's the right way to handle a certain situation. Like, okay, Kristen used to live her life like this, and now she's putting a lot of her time into something that, why would she do that? Like, she's a woman. Why would she do that? Why would she spend time focusing on attaining muscle, or focusing on something that's so seen as a manly thing? Well, for me, I'm not trying to please or impress anybody. I'm just here to push past mental barriers, because I am battling self-worth issues. I'm battling getting up from my bed and wanting to do anything. So for me, I didn't really believe that I was crazy, but I knew that I wasn't doing a lot of things totally right, because when you start anything new, then you may not be doing everything right. And so I had to go through this balance of, do I listen to them? Am I doing things too much? Am I doing things too little? Am I not being there for them? Am I respecting my boundaries? And with that being said, I think that navigating that we can always do better mindset is very important, and always knowing that people will come to you with a perspective of, hey, you have to know, like, is this person, do they want the best for you? And if they want the best for you, then it most likely will be from their perspective, which will include either doing something or not doing something, because they want the best for you, and this is how they think you can achieve that. So with that being said, I'm just trying to press the point that people show their love in different ways. People show their love and their appreciation, their care for you in ways that you may not agree with. And I think if I would have listened to a lot of that, a lot of people telling me that, hey, I'm crazy, you shouldn't go, I need to do this, I need to do that instead of going to the gym. Maybe I could have prevented a lot of injuries. Maybe I could have prevented a lot of burnout. Maybe I could have prevented a lot of things. However, I also would not have been able to go through the experiences that I did, navigating those injuries, navigating how did I even get myself to that point? What happened? Because what I come from is understanding that I used to be afraid to try. So now that I'm pushing myself in this momentum, which that was incredibly important for me on the first few years and the first phase of my fitness journey, that I needed to create a momentum to get myself in the gym. Why am I here? Why do I keep showing up on a day-to-day basis? Why is this worth it? What kind of person do I envision myself being in the next 1,000 days? And I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to so many in terms of the forceness of like, hey, you want something, you better go do it. I don't necessarily speak in that forceful way because I filter it through who I am. Who I am is understanding that if I just told somebody, hey, you must not want X thing because you're not working for it. While there's some truth in that, there's also some kindness that I have to have, recognizing that there's mental toughness of, hey, you need to be disciplined and this is what it requires. But what about the people that are extremely afraid to believe in themselves? So I'm like juggling this mindset of being forceful, possibly leading to burnout, being almost perfect, with understanding that, hey, just do one more rep. Hey, if you can do the first rep and then you stay consistent with it, then you will truthfully build such a momentum in your head to solve the next phase of why people are afraid of the gym and what people can do better in the gym. So all in all, you don't want to shut out people completely from your life. You want to understand that people's energy does impact you and what you think about yourself. So if people are calling you crazy, and if people are telling you that you're doing something wrong, I don't want to say just completely shut them out. I also don't want to say to listen to them. You need to use the context. You need to understand, does this person have the right intention for me? Does this person care about me? Even if this person cares about me, is what they're doing and the way that they're handling it, the way that they're speaking to you, is that acceptable for you right now? And if so, if it is, then you might listen to them and then you might give up on something that could be really incredible for you. Or you could hear them and also filter it out of, hey, I appreciate that understanding and that gesture of compassion it seems that you're trying to give me. But this is where I feel like I can, and this is the conversation I've had with my mother. I mentioned her, I'm not trying to hurt myself. I'm just trying to understand how I can do this better. And I feel like I had in my fitness experience to compensate with a certain intensity and that certain, like, I can't think about anything. I have no option to do this. I need to pursue it because I'm trying to replace something that I personally have missed, in understanding that toughness component in my head, because if I'm making excuses, if I'm procrastinating on other things in my life that I have been, it's a true story, then if I don't raise that intensity, if I don't raise that bar in my fitness life, then I won't be able to learn. So my mom and I had that conversation, and it took many, many conversations over many years, and she'll still say it to this day, how she's like she was very, very concerned for just being a Romanian mother who wants me to not have to be in any situation to hurt myself, potentially, because I mention all these injuries and stuff, but this is my experience in doing things sometimes wrong, or doing things in a way that has led to injuries. But anyways, I learned over the last couple years to not shut out the people who care about me most. And I think that's what's most important, because people can care about you, but then also not intentionally lead you away from something that could be extremely beneficial for you. So I would really encourage you to reconsider how you're filtering people's opinions about you, whether it's a stranger from the gym, whether it's your own family member, whether it's anybody that you admire or whatnot. Like, what about that? Take a piece of paper, write it down. If there's something that just immediately pops up in your head of like something that has been causing you some struggle, some mental strain, why are you not believing yourself? Is it a knowledge issue? Do you think you need more information about form in the gym, like what exercises to do to reach your goals? Or is it other people's opinions about you that you think are holding you back from being successful in the gym? Or is it your own self? Do you have limiting beliefs? Do you have self-doubt that you can actually make it to the gym? And to that, I'll say really quick, because I'll probably do a different video on that. When it comes down to your confidence with yourself, I struggle with this the most. And I truly realized, I'm gonna leave you with this story. I started waking up I started going to the gym at 5:30. This was a couple years back. And I recognized that I started to wake up in the early morning and be like, I don't want to wake up. I don't want to get out of bed. Now, this is a cliche story, don't snooze your alarm, but truly I sat up and I asked myself, I said, why did I make a decision last night feeling relatively good to wake up at this time, which was probably like 4:40 or something? If I made that decision last night, what gives me the right this morning to go back on that decision? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because I was emotional. It's because I was reactive. Because I woke up warm in my bed, not wanting to move. So it just really puts into perspective that maybe I am capable of certain things. Maybe I am confident to do the things that I want to do, but certain times I'm just very emotional and then I start to attribute that to feel bad for myself, which I also have done so many times. But I really hope that you enjoyed this episode and just diving into another way to forge your mind. And I wanted to give it to the perspective of, if I could go back 5 years ago and walk into the gym for the first time, what are some major points that I would want to understand, some points that I can learn that the problems of these certain fears and these certain struggles, and how I can navigate through them. So I really want you to come out, if you come out from this video with anything, it's to understand that you are so much stronger than you think, and to have courageous kindness to yourself, to realize that every step that you take, even if it's not the most zero to David Goggins moment of mental toughness and I just ran 100 miles today sort of mentality, just understand that you are extremely, extremely strong to be able to and tough to be able to assess your mind and really stare at the things that you feel like you can do better on, and not be mean to yourself and not be counterproductive. That being said, we got a full day ahead of us. I hope you have a great day.